Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I will be showing you a game played by the legendary Rashid Nezhmetdinov against Vladimir Sergievsky, who was a strong international master from Russia. The game was played in Saratov, Russia in 1966. And this game, although not as flashy compared to the other many brilliant games played by Nezhmetdinov, is still as instructive nevertheless, as Nezhmetdinov shows us just how dangerous one can be when he has the initiative. And when you have the initiative, you should always try to keep putting pressure on your opponent and make life as difficult as possible for him. In this game, Nezhmetdinov with the white pieces, and he opens with e4. Sergievsky responds with the Sicilian defense. So here are pretty standard moves, and Sergievsky goes for the Khan variation with a6 and queen to c7. So Nezhmetdinov develops normally with bishop e2, we have knight f6, white castles, and knight c6, so this is now the time enough variation. Bishop e3 and bishop b4, so immediately putting some pressure on e4. So Nezhmetdinov takes on c6. So here two possible ways of capturing, well actually three with the queen, but that isn't so commonly played. So the two played moves are going to be b takes c6 and d takes c6, sorry. So both moves have their positives. So if b takes c6, this is the more natural option, capturing towards the center. This gives black a strong center, also with the option of playing d5. But the downside is that this bishop seems to be a bit locked out. So if d takes c6, well, this captures away from the center, but black can play e5 to liberate this bishop. And also he has this open d file for the rook. So in the game, b takes c6 was played. Nezhmetdinov plays queen to d4 now, with tempo on the bishop, connecting the rooks as well, also giving some protection to e4. So here, if black were to play bishop takes c3, hoping for b takes c3 to mess up white's pawns, here white has the option of playing queen takes c3, and if knight takes, then queen takes g7. So black wouldn't want to do that. So after queen takes c3, white has a very pleasant position. So here Sergievsky drops the bishop back, hitting at h2, and this doesn't seem like a bad move. But instead, with hindsight, Sergievsky should have probably played c5. This comes with a tempo on the queen. Black also protects his bishop, and he is preparing bishop b7. And this is going to be a nice square for the bishop on this long diagonal. But instead, bishop d6, which isn't that bad, but this does give Rashid the initiative after f4. So now white is threatening e5. Sergievsky can try to avoid this by dropping the bishop back, but this does give white the initiative after e5. If knight d5, then white takes, then play f5, and this is looking quite promising for white. So after f4, black tried e5. Nezhmetdinov drops the queen back, and here rook to b8 or castling, and black should still be fine. But Sergievsky may be frustrated with this light square bishop on c8, plays e takes f4. He trades bishops, and then he plays d6, preparing to develop this light square bishop. But now this creates a big target on d6 for Nezhmetdinov to attack, which he does immediately with rook to d1. So here black can try to castle and give up the pawn, but Nezhmetdinov could even contemplate sacking on f6, and this isn't so far-fetched to believe. something like this, queen to f4. And this is, well, white definitely has compensation here. So after rook to d1, Nezhmetdinov tries to defend the pawn with king to e7 and rook to f2 from Nezhmetdinov. So what's the idea behind this strange retreating move? Well, Rashid wants to go queen to g5, attacking this pawn on g7, also putting more pressure on f6. And with ideas of rook coming to f1 as well. So Sergievsky stops that with h6, and now queen to d4 from Nezhmetdinov, now intending to push e5. So if black tries to play rook to d8 and then try to bring his king over to the king's side, then white goes e5. So if that is taken, then queen to c5 check forces the king to go to e8, making things very uncomfortable for black. Black cannot go rook to d6 because, well, for one, white can take on e5, but your rook takes f6 is a lot stronger. If g takes f6, knight e4, and white wins material. So here after queen to d4, black tries bishop to e6, but now Rashid strikes with e5. So you have to take, otherwise white takes on f6 or on d6, which would fork the king and the queen. So after d takes e5, queen c5 check from Rashid. So black has to go king to e8. And now a very nice move from Rashid to finish the game off. I'll give you a few seconds to pause the video to think if you want to guess the move. Well, are you ready? Here the move is rook takes f6. After g takes f6, Sergievsky resigned without even waiting for Nezhmetdinov's reply, which is going to be knight to e4, threatening knight takes f6 mate, and black doesn't really have a good way of stopping that. He cannot defend with the queen, for example, queen to e7, because then c6 is now unguarded. Simply queen takes c6, and white wins material and the game as well. So I hope you enjoyed the game and managed to learn something from this video. If you enjoyed my content, feel free to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification button to get notified for upcoming videos. Thanks for watching and have a great day.